Hello, and welcome to Understanding Your Child with Sophie Sijenyi. This is a podcast where we have real and intentional conversation about bringing up our children. We have been talking about how to bring up boys to become responsible men enough. And I'm joined by Simon Mbevi, who is also here to teach us more about bringing up our boys. Now, let's talk about the influence, societal influence, especially technology. We cannot ignore the influence of social media and the peer pressure that comes with it. What are some of the biggest dangers facing our boys today?
Yeah, technology is quite a danger to the boy child, and all research shows that more boys are been more adversely affected by technology and social media than girls.
Yeah.
And part of it is because it's very easy for a boy just to focus on that and stay on it. Girls get to be more relational, so they're going to go out and talk to their friends and do a few things. But a boy could be on their gadget for forever, especially when they're doing these games where people are shooting each other and things like that. Then they could be there for a long time. In some of the developed countries these days, they have rehab centers, digital rehab centers, and the majority going there are boys. And it's just how these boys are not very conversational, especially at some stage. You find that you talk with them, they answer one word or one sentence, and then they don't talk much. But when they find something else that they can focus on and really feel like they're winning, especially if they're not winning in life, then they're going to be taken over. So it's important to make sure that there are alternatives for your boy to do stuff. Because many times we tell boys or kids, don't touch the phone, but we don't give them an alternative. So they say, but I'm bored. So what I did for my kids when they were younger, then I bought them a lot of these Legos and things that they build, and then they get to work, and then they got into music and other things. So there were alternatives. They would go into that and keep themselves busy. And so help them get away from that. Another thing, because boys want to feel, so here's the thing. A lot of girls get into trouble because they want to be part of a clique, because relationships are very crucial for them. They don't want to be left out. Boys get into trouble to prove to their friends that they can do that as well. Or you're smoking, let me show you I can smoke as well. Or they dare you, can you smoke? Or you're this and the other, you can't do that. I remember trying that and I coughed too much. I never tried again. But it was to impress the boys. Boys want to be part of a tribe. They want to prove like, I can do this. And so it's very easy for them then to get into drugs and get into violence and other things just to prove themselves. And so it's very crucial to affirm your boy. A boy must feel like they win at something. If they don't win in academics, let them win in swimming. Let them win in something else. And when they meet with their boys, when their boys are saying, I was number one in academics, they'll say, I did well with swimming. A boy needs to feel like they win in something, especially at the younger stage. When they grow up, they'll realize it's not about performance. But when they're younger, they don't understand that. They want to feel like, I can do well in something. So help them, affirm them, celebrate them in the things that they do well. The other thing is how you communicate with them, and I could bring it here. I find a lot of moms just shout at their boy because they feel like boy is not hearing me. Did you know that it's now been a proven biological fact that boys don't hear as well as girls?
Oh, really?
In fact, a 5-year-old girl hears, the ability to hear and frequency and all of that is as a 14-year-old. So boys don't hear as well. Until 14 years old is when they begin to hear as well as girls who are 5 years old. And when I read that in a book, I was surprised. Because sometimes you call your boy and he can't hear you and he's not pretending. Because when he's listening to something or watching something, he zones out from everything else. And you think he's being naughty, but he's not being naughty. He can't hear you. I mean, even as big boys, we're like that. If I'm watching football and you try to talk to me, it sounds like background noise. I can't really hear what you're saying because I'm focused. And it's just the way our brain is wired. So don't shout at them, talk to them. And this is what I got to realize. Girls are very face-to-face. When I want to talk to my girls, I look at them. If I'm not looking, they push my face. Oh, Daddy, you're not looking at me. A boy will never do that. Boys are more shoulder to shoulder. So when I want to have a long conversation, about sexuality or about something else with my boy, we take a long walk because I'm not looking at him directly. I'm looking at the stars there, but we are still communicating. Even with bigger boys, I do that. So understand the dynamics there, talk with them, listen to them.
Yeah.
They want to be listened to. They may not talk as first and as eloquently as a girl, but they still want to be listened to. So when you understand those dynamics, it's easy then to bring them along.
It's good that you've talked about conversation and how to communicate to boys. Now, these tough conversations about relationships, sex, respect for women, how do you bring it up? And especially when you answer this, just consider also single moms also, like we talked about. How do they prepare their children, to their boys, to become, to be open about relationships, conversations around sex, conversations about how to respect women.
So be vulnerable and set up the stage. I remember how my mother talked to me about sex. It was crazy, but she attempted. You know, she just, one day I dressed up, I was going somewhere, as boys, you're beginning to be very conscious about your image.
Yes.
And she said, Kwani, you're having a sex date today. Now, that said in Kikamba is gross, huh? But you know what she told me? You can actually talk to me about these things.
Yes.
So later I came back and asked the question. So be vulnerable enough for your children to know we can talk about these things and we should talk about these things. But also realize there's a place of another man to come in as well and talk. But as I said, as a lady, the way you talk to a boy is crucial, but it's not the way I would talk with the boy as well. I can tell the boy or the girl, when this happens, when a boy talks like this is what he wants, because I understand that. But the mother will have a very different conversation in that. So play your role, talk to them about these topics. But then remember again, don't make it awkward. If you begin to tell the boy, look at me, listen, no, it's going to be very awkward. When you tell a man like that, look at me, listen, they look away or they look down. But when you say, let's take a walk and talk about this, or let's do dishes as we talk about this, and then bring up those issues, and then being vulnerable and say, when I was a girl, this is what I did. Oh, this is a boy I had a crush on with. Like that. If you make yourself vulnerable, then the boy will listen. But don't just come at them and say, this is what you never do. Then they're just going to think you don't know what you're saying. So I think be vulnerable, talk about the issues, but also don't make it awkward. Create the kind of space where you can talk.
I remember my son threw me off one day, my son who is 6. One day he experienced erection and he asked me, Mama, I don't know why my doo-doo is becoming tough and big. As a parent, you're thrown off. You don't even know how to answer that. So how can you tell a parent who is experiencing that for the first time? So
number one, make it age appropriate. Number two, see how much they know. Of course, there's something you can say about that. I've had a hard conversation with my children, but then I realized they're 10 years, so this is how much I can say, or they're 5 years, this is what I can say. But also it's good to ask them, what do you think is happening? And then you talk to them at that level. But the thing I would say, never lie to them. Because I think we used to be lied to by our parents. Oh, where did I come from? How did I come into the world? How was I born? Oh, you were bought in the shop. And later when you realize that was a lie, then you realize you can't trust your parents to tell you the truth. So you go to your friends to ask those questions. You don't bring them back to them. Because a lot of times when you ask, you know something and you just want to check whether they want to talk about it. And so ask them how much they know and then begin to talk. And of course, these days there's a lot. You can just go on AI and say, what do I say to a 5-year-old on sexuality? I've written some book on that as well. But once you know what to say, just say it. Be truthful and say it. And use biology terms. Just use pennies and, use the biology terms because they read that in a biology book or in a science class. So use those words and have conversations. The idea is not to teach biology, is to teach values. So what you're helping them to know is how do I handle about this with the right values. Boys also like touching their pennies a lot in the open, especially when they're 5 years, 3, 4 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
That's when you begin the conversation.
Yeah.
These are your private parts. What does that mean? Private. You don't show them everyone, start playing with them in public.
Yeah.
You don't let anyone touch them.
Yeah.
Those kind of conversations.
Yes.
Unless they have permission, things like those, so that you hear them. But be frank, be honest, be real, be age appropriate.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Simon, for coming, and thank you for the conversation that we're having. I know you are out there and you have so many questions regarding the topic that we've discussed today. We cannot exhaust this topic. In fact, we can talk here until tomorrow around such topics. So kindly just post the comments on the comment section, post the questions, anything that you want us to address next time. So that we can address and see how to help you raise boys to become men enough. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being here with us. This is Understanding Your Child with Sophie Sijenyi, a podcast where we teach and learn together how to parent intentionally, with intentions, and to bring up children who are acceptable in the society. Thank you so much. Until next time, God bless you. Bye.